Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Once again, we have award-winning Prince George's Suite, and I mean this issue is dynamic. We have Martin Luther King, the Dream. Welcome to the Ed Brown Show. I tell you, Raul Dennis, the editor, publisher, and I mean, this guy hustles all the time. And when you get this issue, you see everything from Bladensburg Arena to Martin Luther King. Hey, welcome to the Ed Brown Show.
Good to be here.
Tell
Always
us
good to be
something
here.
about this issue. I mean, this is fantastic.
You know, it's interesting because we have a great feature, a profile on the great Chuck Brown, the godfather of go-go.
Right.
And I don't have to tell you, Chuck Brown is DC metro area, Prince George's.
Right.
Chuck Brown created a music form that is, 2-3 generations strong now. So he was originally going to be the cover story.
Uh-huh.
But then we got word that the unveiling of the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial was going to be happening in August, this August.
Yeah, right.
And we had to recognize that a man who gave his life for the improvement of our society, and obviously so that America could realize the dream and the promise that it has promised. Oh my gosh, it was almost it was a very difficult decision, but
Yeah.
it came down to the King Memorial. Now, as you know, the memorial was not dedicated in August as it was originally planned.
Right.
It's been moved, I believe, to October 16th. But we're still thrilled to have Greg Wright pen a story that I think is phenomenal. It's beyond just what the significance is of the dedication and the things that are going to be going on with it over the next few years, but it also touches upon the significance of the King Memorial being on the mall in the first place, which I think is a huge aspect of this story. When you think about the Jefferson Memorial, the Washington Monument, certainly the Lincoln Memorial, you think about the path that those individuals walked in order to be immortalized in our history in the way that they are. And the thing that I find interesting about this is each of them during their day made certain marks that actually helped to shape the course of our nation. But they all did it more or less through the channels that be. They did it through the legal, acceptable, socially understood mechanisms. They became president. They became significant social leaders and icons within the mainstream. Dr. King is a little different.
Right.
He comes to the national stage outside the mainstream social thought of his day. He comes to the national platform from the point of view of the voiceless. And so it's very interesting to us that he represents and symbolizes, the monument symbolizes someone who truly is the other side of the dream, who didn't sort of have that spoon,
Right.
silver spoon, didn't have the pat on the back of many of his peers who were on the other side of the racial divide in his time. But again, just like the other memorials that are there, his presence helps us to remember what his legacy was and why it continues to be part of the American mosaic. So I think that in that way, it's a very interesting story, and I hope people get a chance to read it.
Yeah, not only that, I think the history part of it is worldwide because every nation has taken that route in order for freedom. We're going through now. When nonviolent, they always start out nonviolent. And that is the root. And I think he developed that. I don't think there was no other man in the world that developed it more than he did, because I think he showed through action. It's easy when somebody's supporting you and everything, and you don't have to put your, on the line. You know what I mean? And this is I think that makes the difference. A lot of leaders, they talk you know, but they don't get out there on the street. You know what I mean?
That's a whole different
and put their life
that's a
on the
different
line.
can of worms.
Yes,
Right.
it's
A
a
lot of people don't
different
want to go
thing.
that far.
They don't put their life on the line. They'll tell you and lieutenant and whoever, you know, to go out and do this, you know. But this man, I think, really showed the world, you know, the way it has to be done.
Certainly.
You know, you can't do it with bombs, you know.
No, sir. No, sir.
And you can't do it with violence.
Right.
And I think that it really shows the people of this world,
Right.
you know, that eventually that's what you have to do.
Well, I think you touch on a very good point in that you look at what is happening in the Middle East and how so many nations are changing their course through essentially nonviolent, passive demonstration and resistance. And certainly Gandhi gave Dr. King that tool to build upon. And of course, Dr. King using that tool in an American setting where you've got so many more cameras and so much more profile, he was able to popularize the idea of nonviolent protest. But without question, I think Facebook, Twitter, and all these other social platform networks and so on have allowed the quiet storm of revolution to be almost bloodless by comparison to what we might have seen a century ago. So I can't agree with you more that his significance is still quite powerful and resonates throughout the entire world.
That's it. So I think everybody's looking forward to, and I'm sure that they were upset about the cancellation, but God works in mysterious ways.
Absolutely.
You know?
Everything happens for a reason. It might not be in your time, but it'll be right on time regardless.
Right.
So
he knows more than we do.
Absolutely.
And so I just think it's just a beautiful thing, you know, that your magazine is, you know, a lot of them, they talked about it and then they disappear, you know, but your magazine here with this article, I mean, they really have put forward the effort that this man made for the world.
Well, we've been fortunate. We've been fortunate. Our model for the magazine is very different from other models, where we have a great long-standing relationship with our strategic partners. We're looking forward to working with the Baker administration. We have the understanding that that administration wants to continue working with the suite and other local media. And certainly, as a small business, we are working with a number of small and local companies and individuals who are Prince Georgian and Prince George's based. And so this is this publication that sits before us today is here as a result of the commitment of a number of fantastic institutions in Prince George's County, including the Ed Brown Show, to help keep this in the forefront of people's minds and to keep our ability to keep the lights on so that we can tell a story of Prince George's County in real time. We're very excited about the African American Museum in Brentwood. We're partnering with them. Very excited about a dialogue that we're having with Parks and Recreation right now to get more involved and more engaged in not just what they're doing at Parks and Recs, but some of the themes that make it so clear to everybody, should make it clear to everybody, what their tax dollars is actually paying for in terms of the richness of quality of life that they offer. So those partnerships are extremely important, and we couldn't do it without the Ed Brown Show. We couldn't do it without working with these different partnerships. And so I'm very pleased to say that we're still going to be able to make those things happen.
Well, it's a tough job. I've been in the business. I know what you're going through. And the heart that you have to continue with his First Class magazine is just fantastic. And I heard that you were going to be in Whitman's store.
Oh, yeah. We're tremendously excited about this. We are now in Wegmans. I can't tell you the excitement that people had when Wegmans was coming to Prince George's County. I don't think they really have to. I mean,
Right.
People were overjoyed
That's
that such an established
First class.
and
The
first class
manager there
brand.
is just outstanding.
Ayana is godsend. She
Right.
is a tremendous asset to Wegmans,
Right.
and equally as important, she's a hardworking, concerned consumer herself.
Right. Exactly.
She is not just on the other side of the table, sort of taking in.
Right.
She is also putting out. She's
Participating.
in the Prince George's dream, so to speak. And so it's fantastic working with her to make this possible. But yes, the suite is now at
Right.
Wegmans.
That's
We are also going to be at Walmart.
We're going to be at Walmart.
We are in Walmart starting with the next edition when it comes out late October,
That's great.
early November.
And there was some news that you're saying there was a minority involved in Dr. King's statue.
Well, you need to pick up the copy of the magazine
Yeah,
and
to
get some of the
find that
specifics.
out.
But yeah, there is a
Right.
Prince George's
Prince George's
company
minority.
that was involved in the development and execution of the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial Project that is actually being unveiled next month, October 16th. And that's obviously phenomenal. We have so many great talents here in Prince George's that are sometimes under-recognized. Another story that you'll catch in this edition is on Seth Mitchell. Seth Mayhem Mitchell is a heavyweight contender, and a young man grew up here in Prince George's, along about Glen Arden.
Town of Glen Arden.
Has a great deal of heart and sensitivity for someone to be so strong and so fierce in a boxing ring. He had a great match. I think his debut was with Showtime sometime, I think around June. And he recently had his first HBO televised bout literally this month. I think it was September. And what we did was we gave an opportunity for our readers to meet Seth Mitchell, his wife, his mom.
Right.
He's got two wonderful children.
Yeah, well, you got some.
His son, I think this kid is going to be a dynamite athlete if he decides to become one. His son is not 2 years old yet, and he's already got these monster forearms.
Oh,
so,
wow.
It's
That environment.
It runs in the family. But yes, Seth Mitchell is somebody that people should watch out for. He's a talent, and he has such a humility about him. This is a good guy, a good family guy, and we were able to depict some of his story in our current edition of the Suite.
Hey, that sounds exciting. I tell you, can't wait to get to it. You know, I'm holding it. I'm wondering when you came into the studio, I didn't have time to go through it myself. You know, and I just.
I'm glad you like it.
Just fantastic.
We also got a chance to talk about some of the other things in and around the county. Stacy Lattisaw, a lot of us will remember her. A lot of us with a little bit of gray in the temple will remember Stacy Lattisaw's music.
Lattisaw, right.
She's based in Prince George's now. She has a studio here.
She has a studio here?
Well, you know, she's from the D.C. DC area.
But
she's from
has
DC.
a studio.
But now she has a studio. She's getting back into music. She wants to provide a platform for young artists to actually put their talents to task. I'm very proud of her because she's come full circle to have been on the national and international stage with such great music that we're all going to remember forever.
That's
and now she got out of the business pretty early. I think most people will remember. She felt the business was kind of eating at her as a human being and kind of taking away. And so she got out of it. She got into a more of a spiritual space. She is a minister now. She has a fantastic new book. Where she talks about her journey from as an adolescent going into pop star status and then becoming a family person and really finding herself as a full circle leader in the ministry.